It's called The ABCs of Lowriding. The new book by my next guest here on Comunidad del Valle, Ricardo Cortez, is back to share with us his new publication. Welcome back to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me, Damien.
Well, tell us, if we don't know about lowriding, what are the ABCs of lowriding?
Well, the book itself actually doesn't have anything to do with cars. It has to do with the people, the customs, and the traditions of the lowrider culture. And yes, there are some cars featured in there, but it really has to do with the community of lowriding.
Talk about the stigma that once was being a lowrider and how maybe that's changed and evolved. You know, the cruising ban and now the cruising is back. Talk about maybe the lifting of that ban and maybe the lifting of that stigma. Now it's, you know, it's okay. It's normal. It's actually awesome to be a lowrider.
Right. I mean, there's been, for many years, the criminalization of lowriding, whether it be through, laws that have been put in place to what has been portrayed on the media. And now there's this resurgence and re-embracing of lowrider culture that has been such a fundamental aspect of San Jose's legacy and history for so many years that it feels really nice that lowriding is getting the spotlight that it deserves.
And tell us about your book then. What do you write about? And what do you want the kids to know and the adults to know?
Right. So the book itself actually is an alphabet learning book. But what it does and what I aim to do is have it bridge generational conversations where this shared history of lowriding from the young generation to the old generation, this book can serve as a tool to facilitate a dialogue between these groups, between the old and the young.
And so you're having a special book release party, and at the same time, it's proceeds are going to a couple of great causes.
Right. So on December 9th at 20 Barack Obama Boulevard, which is right across the street from the SAP Center, I'll be having a book launch party. And if you bring a unwrapped toy donation, which are going to be supporting Sacred Heart Nativity School and Los Amigos de Guadalupe, you'll get a discount for the book. And so you can buy the book at $21 as opposed to $25. And the great thing about those two neighborhoods is that they were fundamental epicenters of lowrider culture. East San Jose, as you know, had an explosion of lowriding, Story King, and West San Jose is where Sonny Madrid founded Lowrider Magazine.
And in fact, we were looking at some of the images of your book, and we saw a caricature or a cartoon or a picture of Sonny Madrid. How vital was he in making us proud of the lowriding era that was great then and is great now?
Well, what he created was the first archive documentation of the culture, right? It was written by lowriders for lowriders. It showed them in a true light, in a true perspective, and it put a lot of famous people on the map in the early days of lowriding's inception, or Lowrider Magazine's inception.
I mean, I remember when I was a kid, and if you saw an article or a picture, hey, that's a Salinas car show. Wow, they were in Salinas. It was a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it covered our people, right? And when you look through the old first issues of the magazine, it reads like a yearbook, right? And there's poetry features in there. There's artists that are featuring their work for the very first time. If you think about Teen Angel, he got his start in Lowrider Magazine. David Gonzalez was featured many times in Lowrider Magazine, who created the Homies. And yeah, it's just a great time capsule, at least now, of what our culture was like back in the 1970s and where it all started.
And you have you also walk the walk. You have a couple of vintage automobiles in your possession.
I do, yeah. So I'm very honored to be able to drive my grandfather's cars. They're a 1954 GMC pickup and a 1967 Buick LeSabre. I get to cruise those around, and the truck will actually be at the event. So I'm inviting everybody to bring out their lowriders, come out, enjoy free festivities that day. Santa will be making an appearance. Got some free art making. So I'm really grateful for being able to hold space with Creekside Socials, who is, partnership with Jamestown and Google in that area. I think it's gonna be an amazing event.
So it's actually happening across from where they have the Sharks playoffs, when they're in the playoffs, the Sharks playoffs pregame parties out front on the street then.
That's correct. Yep. Right in that same spot.
Yes. Well, tell us the event again. It's an event where it'll benefit a couple of nonprofits that you mentioned, Sacred Heart Nativity Schools and also Amigos de Guadalupe. But at the same time, they're able to do what? It's a 4-hour party there.
Yeah. So there'll be a big lowrider display out there. We're gonna have some food trucks, DJ music. There'll be some posters that you'll be able to screen print on your own. So it's almost like a learning workshop on how to screen print. I designed a holiday lowrider poster. Again, Santa will be out there. There'll be folks that are featured in this book that will be autographing the book that day at the event, as well as, collecting toys and giving those out at a later date to those communities.
Can it be turned into an impromptu car show, or just bring your lowrider and park it and then let's have a good time?
Yeah, I hope so. So we do have a dedicated space for some lowriders, but all of the street parking is going to be blocked off. Not in a block party style, but the side road area, the parking stations will be blocked off for lowriders to pull up and hang out for as long or as little as you want to. And the parking lot across the street is also open. So plenty of room out there to bring your cars out. Hopefully the weather holds up, no rain. It looks like we're going to be okay.
You mentioned the criminalization of lowriding back then. Is the effort maybe your attempt is to maybe help ease that and make it more acceptable for those who still might not accept it? And it seems like to be kid friendly as well, so the chavalitos can learn a little bit about it.
Right. I mean, the book itself and the event, it's can always be seen as a learning experience, right, or a learning opportunity. The book itself can be a learning tool, and so anybody who is open-minded enough to be able to experience a new culture, I invite them to come and check this out. You may not have been in experiences with lowriders before, but this event itself is welcoming to everybody. And so I invite everybody to come out and check it out, whether you know about lowriders and you're accustomed to the culture, or you're new to lowriders and you are very curious about what the culture is all about. It's going to be a great time to learn about it. All
right, Rick. Well, thank you for the pride and sharing that pride with us and helping us learn a little bit more about the lowriding and the history. I mean, it originated in San Jose and it's going strong. Thank you so much.
Thanks again for having me.
All right, you're welcome. And well, again, this event is happening over right in front of the SAP Center where the Sharks, when they are in the playoffs, have their pregame festivities. It's called the ABCs of Lowriding. It's a book release and toy drive to benefit a couple of great nonprofits in San Jose, December 9th from 12 to 4 p.m. right there in front of the SAP.